This call is now being recorded.
Yeah, in the last class we have discussed about relations. In the last two classes we have introduced these relations and some of the points related to relations we have seen. If you remember, I will show you one example which we have discussed so that you can recall. Yeah, this is a simple example which we have seen. A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and R is defined on A itself. That is, R is a subset or equal to what? R is defined on A itself means R is subset or equal to A cross A. That is, in the Cartesian product, we will be having A cross A, and that is denoted as A cross A. Relation is nothing but subset of it. Okay, now what is this R represents is less than relationship. So A or B, if you denote, then we should satisfy the constraint that A is less than B. Then only A comma B belongs to this particular relation. Consider A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1 comma 5. Can we satisfy here 1 or 5? 1 is less than 5. So 1 comma 5 will be part of the relation. Next 4 comma 5. That also will be part of the relation. Why? Because 4 less than 5. Now 5 comma 3. It is not part of this relation. Why? Because 5 or 3 if you put, then what is the condition to be satisfied? 5 less than 3, which is false. So 5 comma 3 will not be part of this relation, although it is part of the A cross B. Understand? In A cross A, how many elements we will be having? How many tuples we will be having in A cross A? How many tuples we will be having in A cross A? What's the answer, man? Yeah, 25. 5 elements we are having. 5 into 5. Every element will be what you call paired with it 5 to 5 will be having those tuples we will be what you call defining as a relation. So A less than B. So we will be having subset like this. What are the other tuples which are not part of this relation, like 5 comma 3, 5 comma 4, or 5 comma 2, 5 comma 1? These all will not be part of this relation. Why? Because it will not satisfy. Okay, this in representations that we can use to denote relation. Okay, what are the three types of representations for relation? One is tuple. Okay, set of tuples. Second one is digraph. Okay, third one is, what's the third one? Matrix representation or matrix, then digraph. Yeah. Next, we have seen what is the domain of a relation. Next, what is the range of a relation? Domain is nothing but whatever the it is like we will be having two sets. Okay, in sometimes we will be having a relation on same set itself. Then A and A we can consider. Then whatever the elements which are mapped to any of the other element, any of the elements in B, then those will be part of the relation. Now whatever the set, okay, set which are having such kind of tuples, at least participating in at least one tuple, those will be part of the domain. Similarly, range also. Whatever the elements which are part of the tuples, those will be considered as range. Remaining we can. Okay, what's the difference between function and relation? Can you able to say? What's the function? What is the difference between function and relation? From this you can say. Yes, I have mentioned the same question in the previous class also. I told you to find the difference. there are several examples for range and function, which we have seen in the previous class. I don't want to discuss it. Yeah, these are the what you call properties associated with relations. Like A to B, there is a relation called R, and A1 and A2 are the subsets of A. Then R of, that is whatever the what you call elements which will result from A1, okay, by applying this relation, okay, then those will be subset of elements which will come by applying this relation on A2. Okay, this we will see some example. Yeah, here you can observe this particular one. A is equal to 1, 2, 3, and B is equal to XYZ WPQ. Now R is defined as y. Now A1 we are saying as 1, 2, A2 is 2, 3. Now A1 and A2 are subsets of A. So first condition is being satisfied. Now and consider R of is when we apply this relation on A1, that is 1, 2. Whenever 1, 2, what are the what you call mapped elements in B? 1 if you have, X we have. All and he form union of R of A1 and A2, then we will be getting B. Okay. Okay, I'll do one thing. Okay, the response you try to give orally. Okay, I will not see the chat box. You please give orally so that data may be sufficient. Just a second.
Yeah, am I audible now? Please give your response orally, ma. I cannot see the chat box. Is it okay?
No, sir, it is very low.
Very low. Okay, I will increase. Yeah. Now, if you consider A is equal to 1, 2, 3, B is equal to XYZ WPQ, then R is defined like this. Then A1 and A2 are defined as a subsets of A. Now, R of A1 is nothing but whatever the mapped elements that we have in B for corresponding elements, then we will be having R of A1 like that. Similarly, R of A2. Next, now if you consider A1 union A2 is A, and R of A1 union A2 is nothing but whatever the R of A, that is R of, when we apply R of A, then we will be getting XZ WPQ, of course, by XYZ WPQ. Those all will be coming here when we apply R of A. So that's what we are getting when we perform or when we combine R of A1 and R of A2. So this is what stated there in previous theorem here. R of A1 union A2 is nothing but R of A1 union R of A2. Similarly, when we consider R of A1 intersection R of A2, then we will be getting like this, and this is similar to R of A1 intersection A2. Okay, this you can verify that this is one of the examples which will convince you to these properties. Yeah. Next, of course, matrix representation we have seen in previous two classes. Then digraph representation also we have seen. Suppose if digraph is given, then find MR means you could able to find it out, right? MR. What is MR? Matrix representation of the relation R. So MR is nothing but a two-dimensional array, we can say, or you can consider as matrix, where we'll be having uh, number of rows as number of elements in A and a number of columns as number of elements in B. If the relation is defined defined on two sets A and B. Okay. If the relation is defined on the same set, then we will be having number of rows and number of columns as same as number of elements in A. Like that we can find MR, and we have defined two things like R square. What is R square or R2? What is R2? Is nothing but or you consider here MR and R. How we can write it from this is, from this particular digraph is, we will be having three rows, three columns. Why? Because it is defined over A itself. So three columns and three rows. Then correspondingly, by seeing the edges, directed edges, how we are having, we can have ones and zeros here. Similarly, 1 to 4, if you have 1 comma 4 will be part of this R. Similarly, 1 to 5 we have directed, we will be having 1 comma 5 as tuple. Now coming to R2. R2, how we will define, and accordingly how we can have MR2. Okay, this is what the point that you have to understand. MR2 or R2, how we can find is like suppose we are having R as 1 comma 4 1 comma 5 4 comma 1 4 comma 4 5 comma 4 5 comma 5. Now R2 in the sense, can we have 1 comma 5 as part of R2? 1 comma 5, 1 comma 5 as part of R2.
Yes, sir.
How we can have 1 comma 5?
1 to 5, 5 to 5.
1 to 5, 5 to
5 to
5.
5.
Yeah, 1 to 5. So by seeing this one, we could able to say 1 comma 5 is part of R2. Similarly, 1 comma what you call 1 comma, okay, 1 comma 4 is same like 1 comma 4 4 comma 4. Next 5 comma 5, can we have 5 comma 5?
Yes, sir.
Yes, 5 comma 5 5 comma 5. Next 5 comma 4. Yes, 5 comma 4 4 comma 4. Like that, how we can define R2 is nothing but if there exists a pair which will give like a pair of two tuples which will result the mentioned tuple, then we can say that is part of R2, like 1 comma 4 or 1 comma 5 or 5 comma 5 or 5 comma 4. And can we say can we write 1 comma 1 as part of R2? 1 comma 1.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what's the sequence?
1 to 1, 1 to 1.
1 to 1 is not part of R, right? See here in the digraph representation also, 1 to 1 we don't have directed edge, so we cannot climb it.
1 to 4, 4 to 1, sir.
1 to 4 4 to 1, then we can say this is the justifiable reason, then we can have 1 comma 1 in the R2. So now by if you know R2, these are the tuples which we have in R2, then can we able to write MR2? MR2? Yes or no? MR2 is nothing but matrix representation of the same relation. How many rows we will be having? Number of elements in A. How many columns? Number of elements in B. Or if relation is defined on the same set, then we can have number of rows and number of columns as same. So by seeing this particular set of tuples, we could able to write MR2. Yes or no? Yes. Did you get the point?
Yes, sir.
M R2 is nothing but matrix representation of the relation R2. That's it. Now you consider M R3 or R3. How we can define R3? Like whatever procedure we have followed for 2. That is, by combining 2 tuples, we could able to get the another tuple. Then we can consider that as part of R2. By combining 3 tuples, if you could able to get another tuple, then we can say that is part of R3. Understand? So now can we say one example here, like 1 comma 5. Let us say 1 comma 5 is there. Will it be part of R3? 1 comma 5, will it be part of R3? Three tuples we should give. 1 comma 5, 5 comma 5, then 5 comma 5. Yes or no? 1 comma 5, 5 comma 5, then 5 comma 5. We can consider 1 comma 5 as part of R3. Now you say 1 comma 4. That is also same. 1 comma 4, 4 comma 4, 4 comma 4. Like that we can write. Now you consider 5 comma 1. Will it be part of R3? 5 comma 1. Will it be part of R3?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What is the sequence?
5 to 4, 4 to 4, 4 to 1.
Yeah, 5 to 4, 4 to 4, 4 to 1. Like that. Or we can consider 5 to 5, then 5 to 4, then 4 to 1. That is also acceptable. So R3 contains 5 comma 1. Like that we can obtain R3. If you know R3, we could able to write MR3 as well. Yes or no? MR3. Similarly, R4 we can get it. Then MR4, R5, MR5. Like this, we can find out Rn. Okay, Rn is nothing but in the digraph representation, we will be having a path from A to B. Okay, A is related to B by using the relation called Rn. Then we can say from A to B, there is a path of length n, exactly n. That is what the meaning here. Now, MRn also we could able to obtain from this Rn. Now the question is, how we can able to get, if you know MR, okay. Now the question is, if you know MR, how we can able to get MR2 easily or MR3 easily, MR4 or MRN? This is the question. Why we are having this question is, here obtaining R2 is somewhat easier, but obtaining R3, you feel what you call it's not complete. Even though if you obtain some set which contains all the tuples which are in R3, you cannot feel this is the complete list. Why? Because whatever the possibility we will thought, that possibility only we will be checking. But all the possibilities, if you see, there can exist much more tuples. So in order to find out what is R3 or what is MR3, obtaining R3 or MR3 is equivalent. Yes or no? If you obtain MR3, we could able to get R3. If you obtain R3, we could able to get MR3. Okay, just transformation only. So now we will be concentrate on this particular representation, that is MRN or MR square. Simply for the first step, let us consider this MR2. How we can obtain this MR2? If you know MR is nothing but we will perform dot product. We will perform dot product between MR, that is MR2 is equal to MR and the dot product. Then now we will apply between MR itself. Then we could able to get MR2. Got my point? Yes. Yes, any doubt, ma? let us consider the example. Yeah, this is MR. Okay, that is on this particular set A, we have defined a relation R, and this is given in example 5 as well. I think, yeah, this is the example 5. A is equal to A, B, C, D, E, and R is defined on the same set, and R contains some of the tuples like A, comma A, A, comma B, B, comma C, C, comma E, C, comma D, D, comma E. Now we have to find out what you call MR2. Okay, can we able to write MR by seeing this R? Can we able to write MR? Hmm. Yes, please respond, ma'am. Can we able to write MR orally? Please respond. I cannot see the chat box. Yeah. Yes, by seeing this R, can we able to write MR or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, by using this MR, how we can calculate MR2 is nothing but by multiplying MR with itself like this. You consider MR is this one, okay, for the given relation R. Now, MR2 is nothing but MR dot product then with MR itself. So, we'll be performing dot product whenever we have corresponding entries like, of course, matrix multiplication kind of thing only, but not exactly same. Here we will, whenever we have corresponding entries as 1, then at least one of the corresponding entries as 1, then we will put 1 accordingly. See here, this row will you consider like this. Next, this same row you consider with the second column like a matrix multiplication only, but corresponding at least one corresponding entries are matching, then we will put 1. Corresponding entries as 1, then we can put respective entry as 1. Like this, we can obtain MR2. So directly calculating MR2 from MR is much easier compared to obtaining R2 from R. Isn't it? Yes or no? Yes, did you get the point? Yes. Next, similar to that, we are having the theorem like MRN. If you wanted to get, then we can perform dot product between MR for n minus 1 times. Then we could able to obtain MRN. Okay, this is the conclusion. Yeah. Next, let us consider this one. Yeah. Is the screen visible? The PPT is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Just this is a recall of the things. A relation on the set A is a relation from A to A. Now, as we had discussed, relation is nothing but subset of Cartesian product. How many relations, such kind of relations we could able to form? That's the question. This is the example which we have seen already. A is less than B. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What will be part of R? Can you tell? A is 1, 2, 3, 4, and R is defined as A comma B such that A is less than B. Now, what will be part of R? 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4. Why? Because these all will satisfy this condition. Next 2 comma 3, 2 comma 4. Next 3 comma 4. So these will be part of relation R. Now consider same thing can be represented as digraph as well, and of course matrix as well. Corresponding entries we can fill, and we can have this kind of relation. Now, how many different relations we can define on a set A with n elements? This is the question. We are having A and we are defining a relation on set of the elements A. So we'll be having A and A, two copies we can consider. Then like this we can have, right? So how many such kind of relations are possible? This is the question. One relation can contain only this particular one. Yes or no? Only this 1 comma A. Let us consider 1, 2, 3 here, and here A, B, C. And in the Cartesian product, we will be having how many elements? How many tuples? 9 tuples. Why? Because here we are having 3, here we are having 3. So 9 tuples we can have in Cartesian product. Now, what is the relation definition? It is a subset of Cartesian product. So how many relations we can have? This is very, very important one. How many relations we can form from this Cartesian product with n elements? How many elements? Orally you say, please. It is like I will say 1 comma A is one relation. Is it correct or not? Only 1 comma A is forming a relation. Is it correct or not? Yes or no? Is this a subset of A cross A? That is Cartesian product of A and A?
Yes, sir.
So R is proper relation. Next, consider 1 comma B. That is also can be a relation. Now you consider 1 comma A and 1 comma B as part of one relation. That is also valid only. So now you are relations of you could be able to form an element set. This is the question. Now can you able to answer?
For this 9, sir. 9 relation.
How many?
9.
9 relations. 9 tuples we will be having actually. In the Cartesian product, we will be having 9 tuples. But I am saying 1 comma A itself can be a relation. Similarly, all 9 we can have. So 9 trivially we could obtain. Because
2
with
power
1
9,
tuple
sir.
we can have. Yes?
2 power 9.
Very good. 2 power 9. How we can obtain 2 power? All the possibilities, right? All the possible subsets of those tuples. So it is nothing but a kind of a power set. Yes or no? With n elements, how many elements we can have in that tuples we are having. So 2 power 9 relations we could able to form. So now you consider what is this 9? What is this 9?
N square elements.
Yeah, n square. Yeah. So if you consider on the same set we have defined the relation, then n square will be here. So 2 power n to the power of 2. So 2 power n square number of relations we could able to form. Suppose if the relation is defined on two sets A and B, A cardinality or the A size is n, B size is m, then what will be the number of relations that we can form? 2 power?
2 power n.
2 power?
N into m.
No. 2 power n into, n into m. Okay. So this is the number of relation that we can define on a set. Same explanation also mentioned here. So 2 power n square different relations we can define. Next. Now this is very, very important one for GATE exam as well. Okay, these properties of relations, you please try to concentrate. Yeah. A relation R on a set A is called reflexive. Okay, is called reflexive if A comma A belongs to R. For every element, A belongs to A. That is, if you consider A as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, A contains 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what are the tuples that we should have in relation R? If A is 1, 2, 3, 4, then what are the tuples that we should have in R to consider it as a reflexive relation? Is all the tuples which are in this particular form, like A belongs to A in the sense 1 belongs to A, 2 belongs to A, 3 belongs to A, 4 belongs to A. So for all those A values, we should have A comma A in our relation. So 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, 4 comma 4. All these 4 tuples should be part of the relation, or then we can say such kind of relation as reflexive relation. Is this clear? The definition. Let us see the example. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us consider R is equal to 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3, 3 comma 3, 4 comma 4. Is this relation reflexive or not? How many elements we are having in the set? How many elements in the set?
4.
4. So how many these kind of tuples we should have? A comma A kind of tuples? 4 tuples. Are we having 4 here? 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2 are we having? No. 3 comma 3 and 4 comma 4 we have. Although we are having 1 comma 1, 3 comma 3, 4 comma 4, 2 comma 2 is not part of it. According to the definition, A comma A belongs to R. For every element, A belongs to A. So this condition is not satisfying for the element 2 belongs to A. So can we consider it as reflexive relation or not?
No, sir.
No. So R is not reflexive relation. Now you consider another one. 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 2 comma 3, 3 comma 3, 4 comma 4. Now we are having for all the elements which belongs to A, we are having A comma A belongs to R. So can we consider it as a reflexive relation?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Next, you consider 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3. Can we consider it as reflexive
No, sir.
relation? No.
No, sir.
Yeah. Like this, we can consider this as the reflexive relation whenever it satisfies the condition that A comma A belongs to R. For every element, A belongs to A. Next, you consider another property of relation, like relation on a set A is called irreflexive. Okay, irreflexive. If A comma A does not belongs to R, for every element A belongs to A. Okay, for every element A comma A should not belongs to R. Then we can consider it as irreflexive relation. Now you consider first example. Is this irreflexive or not? Is this irreflexive? This particular one?
No, sir.
No. What's the counter case? 1 comma 1. Even you can give 3 comma 3. Even you can give 4 comma 4. There should not exist such kind of pair. A comma A should not belongs to R for every for any element, we can say. Next. Second one.
No, sir.
It is also not not irreflexive. Next. Third one is also not irreflexive. Okay. I think you have got the point. What is reflexive? What is irreflexive? Now I will say R is equal to 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4. Can we consider it as irreflexive?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Why? Because there is no such kind of pair. A comma A belongs to R. Next, symmetric. This is a little vertical confusing, but try to understand clearly now itself. Okay, don't mess later. A relation R on a set A is called symmetric if B comma A belongs to R whenever A comma B belongs to R. For all A comma B belongs to A. That is, sorry, any two elements if you consider from A, okay, you can consider 1, 2, 3, 4 as A. Then 1 comma 2 if you consider, if A as 1, B as 2, then if 1 comma 2 is part of the relation, then 2 comma 1 must be part of the relation R. Now you consider 3 comma 4 as A and B. Then if 4 comma 3 is part of relation, then 3 comma 4 should also be part of the relation. Then we can consider that particular relation as symmetric relation. Got it? Yes. Let us see the example. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the set. Now, first one, 1, comma 1, 1, comma 2, 2, comma 1, 3, comma 3, 4, comma 4. Now, if you consider 1, comma 1, the reverse is also same, right? So, you need not consider these kind of pairs. Yes or no? Why? Because A, comma B is equivalent to B, comma A. So, we need not consider these. Let us consider 1, comma 2, 2, comma 1. So, for this pair, we are having A, comma B if you consider. B, comma E is also part of this. Can we consider it as a symmetric? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Symmetric.
Yeah. So this is the symmetric relation. Okay. Let us see what is meant by asymmetric. Before going to see what is antisymmetric, let us consider asymmetric. This is third one. Don't read this. The second one now itself. Yeah. Now you consider the third one. Relation R on a set A is called asymmetric if A comma B belongs to R implies that B comma A does not belongs to R. If A comma B is present in relation, then B comma A should not belongs to R. Okay, that is reverse to this symmetric, right? Such kind of relation we call it as asymmetric relation. Is this clear? The definition?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now earlier whatever we have considered, is this asymmetric?
No, sir.
Is this no? Why? Because 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1 is the counter case. Okay, so it is not symmetric. Next, 1 comma 3 is there, 3 comma 2, 2 comma 1. Is this symmetric? No. Why? Because 1 comma 3 is there, 3 comma 1 is not part of this relation. Next, similarly, 3 comma 2, 2 comma 3 is not part of the relation. Next, 2 comma 1, 1 comma 2 is not part of this. So, it is not symmetric, that's for sure. Is this asymmetric? Is this
Yes, sir.
asymmetric? Yes. Why? Because for any pair, we are not having for any pair A comma B, we are not having B comma A as part of relation. Is asymmetric. Now, if you case like 1 comma 3, then 3 comma 1 is also part of the relation. Now, can we say this as a symmetric? One comma 3, 3 comma 2, 2 comma 1,
No,
3
sir.
comma 1. No, why? Because for these two pairs, we are not having what you call symmetric pairs in the relation. So it is not symmetric. Can we say it as asymmetric?
No, sir.
No, asymmetric also. It is not symmetric. It is not asymmetric as well. That clarity you should have. Yeah. Just let us refer the definition again. If A comma B belongs to R, then B comma A does not belongs to R. Then we can say it as asymmetric. For every pair A comma B belongs to R, B comma A should not belongs to R. Then only we can consider it as asymmetric. Okay. If every pair A comma B belongs to R, if B comma A belongs is also belongs to R, then we can consider it as symmetric. But there can be some relations which are not symmetric, which are not asymmetric as well. Is it clear? Yes, any doubt, ma?
No, sir.
Okay. Now you consider the second definition, anti-symmetric, in the sense whenever A comma B belongs to R and B comma A belongs to R, if these two conditions are satisfied, then A is equal to B. Then only these two will be part of the relation. Then such kind of relation we call it as anti-symmetric. That is A comma B belongs to R and B comma A belongs to R. Then only then A is equal to B. Then we can have these two as part of the relation. Otherwise, we should not have symmetric pair in the relation. Understand my point? If suppose you consider 1 comma 2 is there, belongs to R, and 2 comma 1 is also part of the R. Can we consider it as anti-symmetric? No. Why? Because 1 is not equal to 2. Suppose 1 comma 1 is there. Okay, that means whatever the symmetric pair that we have, those symmetric pairs should not be part of the same relation. That we can consider as anti-symmetric. Now, question is, can we have a relation which is both symmetric and anti-symmetric? Can we have a relation which is both symmetric and anti-symmetric?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What's the example?
1 comma 1.
Yeah, very good. 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, 4 comma 4. Like that, we can consider same pairs, like A comma A belongs to R. Such kind of thing will be part of symmetric, and same thing we can consider as anti-symmetric relation as well. But other than those 1 comma 1 or 1, 2 comma 2, if we have 1 comma 2 as symmetric, we cannot consider it as anti-symmetric relation. Okay, let us consider the examples again once again. Now we have understood what is symmetric, what is asymmetric, what is anti-symmetric as well. Now, is this anti-symmetric? Is this anti-symmetric?
No, sir.
No. Why? Because 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1, it is the counter case, so it is not anti-symmetric. Next, let us consider this. R is equal to 1 comma 1. Is this symmetric? Yes. Is this symmetric or not?
Yes, sir.
Is this symmetric? For all the A belongs to A, it is not symmetric. It is wrongly given. 1 comma 1. Only 1 comma 1 is part of the relation. But for other elements which are part of this set, 2, 3, 4 are there, right? For those, it is not satisfying. But anti-symmetric, there is no restriction to have all such pairs. If A comma B and B comma A is part of the relation, A is equal to B. That's what the condition. So it is anti-symmetric, but not symmetric. Understand? Although it is given, it's wrong. This is not symmetric. Next, 1 comma 3, 3 comma 2, 2 comma 1. Here we don't have symmetric pairs, so it is definitely not symmetric. Next, can we consider it as anti-symmetric?
No, sir.
Anti-symmetric. Here we don't have symmetric pairs itself. Yes or no? Symmetric pairs itself we don't have, so we can consider it as anti-symmetric. If symmetric pair is there, then we should consider A is equal to B or not. But we don't have symmetric pair in this, so you can consider it as anti-symmetric. Next, can we consider it as asymmetric? Yes, of course. Correct. So it is anti-symmetric as well as asymmetric. Clear? Any doubt?
Sir, can you
Now-
explain why 1 comma 1 is not symmetric?
Yeah, 1 comma here, according to the definition of symmetric, for all A comma, what is symmetric here? You see, for all A comma B. Yeah, sorry. This one is belongs to this reflexive definition, right? Yeah, sorry. This is a symmetric relation, so it is correct. Sorry, ma. Thanks for reporting. R is equal to 1 comma 1. So whatever the pairs we have, we should have corresponding symmetric pairs. For 1 comma 1, the symmetric pair is 1 comma 1 itself. So it is symmetric relation. Correct. Yeah, actually I mapped to reflexive relation definition. That's why we went wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Any other doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, can we consider it as a symmetric?
No.
No, sir.
Symmetric. No. Why? Because for 1 comma 4, we don't have symmetric pair in the relation. Can we consider asymmetric?
No, sir.
No. Can we consider anti-symmetric? Anti-symmetric. Whatever the symmetric pairs we have, those should have A is equal to B. So symmetric pairs in this relation are 4 comma 4. So it will satisfy 3 comma 3. It will satisfy 1 comma 4. It is not symmetric pair in the relation. So we need not consider. So it is anti-symmetric.
Asymmetric.
Yeah. It is not asymmetric. It's not asymmetric. Why? Because 4 comma 4 is symmetric pair. 3 comma 3 is symmetric pair. These also should not be part of the relation. Yes or no? Got my point? Asymmetric in the sense A comma B, if it is belongs to R, then B comma A should not belongs to R. So A comma B, if you consider as 4 comma 4, 4 comma 4, B comma A is also 4 comma 4, that is belongs to R. So we cannot consider this as asymmetric. But anti-symmetric, whenever a symmetric pair is there, A is equal to B. So that condition is being satisfied in all the what you call tuples which we have here. 1 comma 4, it is not a symmetric pair. 1 comma 4 is part of R, but 4 comma 1 is not part of R. So it is not symmetric pair. So we need not consider whether A is equal to B or not. So it is anti-symmetric. Clear? Yes? Any doubt, ma? Yeah, any doubt, ma? Okay, Zian, I didn't see your chat box. I think your doubt is cleared. Yes? Okay.
Sir, can you show the three definitions once?
3 definitions. Yeah. Yeah. Shall I explain?
Okay, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
Just for screenshot.
Okay, okay. Okay, then you can enter your roll number and can leave, ma. Thank you.